friends. Today is day 2 of my 12-day writing challenge. Um, Yesterday, I saw a friend later yesterday and I asked her how her day was going, and she said, well, it's not the best day of my life, but it's also not the worst day of my life. And I think I felt the same way yesterday. It was surprisingly challenging for me to get back into the book, and I don't know if it's just because I'm tired or what is going on. But I put in my time, I did it, and I had a couple of thoughts that I'd like to make note of in case it's helpful for you as you're writing or as you're creating. One challenge that I've come up against multiple times is, what is this book about? And it not even relates to the book, but to my performances, these one-woman performances I do about my book. It relates to the writing that I do, that I post on Medium, and sort of, what do I stand for? What is this about? And it's interesting to write a book and in some ways not know what it's about, because I think that every writer has a different process. And for me, I think that books reveal themselves to the writer as the writer helps usher them into the world. And so I've been a little confused about what my own book is about. Is it about suicide? Is it about loss of a brother? Is it about grief? Is it about personal transformation? Is it about going on a walkabout? There are all these topics, some of which are more popular right now than others. And so one thing that I just like to encourage you as writers or as creatives is, don't be afraid to sit in the unknown. It feels messy, it feels overwhelming, it can be really exhausting not knowing exactly where you're headed. But I think it's an important part of the journey to be willing to not know and to trust and to follow through the story, because then clarity does start to come. And then I feel like you give opportunity to various meanings or reasons or things that your art is about. And it might be about nothing, different mediums of art. But this book, I very specifically wanted it to finally formulate around some kind of centralizing topic. And I feel like I'm finally starting to get there. And a lot of things have been cut. A lot of bits of writing won't be used. Still, now I'm cutting things. I'm adding new things in because I feel like I'm finally honing down and getting some clarity and some focus. But for me personally, I had to take that semi-secured, secured. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is horrible. I had to take that circular journey to figure out what this was for me, and to feel like I had a reason for knowing why it was not about that one thing, and why I had to cut that one thing out, and why I had to get rid of that character. I say character, these are people in real life. So yeah, be willing to sit in the unknown. And another thing is, when I was reflecting on my book recently and sort of setting up maybe like a 5-year timeline, all that I wanted to accomplish, I got really overwhelmed and tired by the end. And I think it's important to do those things, to have the big picture, but then ultimately, when you're working on a big project or you're working long-term on something, you have to be able to let all of that go and cut back just to focusing on, what is the next step right now? What do I need to do today? What small thing can I focus on? And research has shown that we tend to under plan for what we can accomplish within the course of a year. We sell ourselves short, and then we tend to over plan for what we think we can accomplish in a day. And so think about that when you're working on your art. You're just working on your to-do list, that what you will accomplish in a day is less than what you think you can accomplish. And so that's not a failure to not have gotten everything done, and maybe thinking in the respects that less is more during your day. But then in the course of a year, plan big. Don't underestimate what you think you can accomplish, because you can accomplish more than you realize. There's a lot more time in a year than we conceptualize when we're planning things. But when you're coming back to the reality of, oh my gosh, there are all these things that I want to do, where do I start? Just ask yourself, what is the most important thing I need to get done right now? And those other questions that you might have lingering probably don't need to get answered right now. Same with a book. I really want to know how some things are going to pan out, but I don't actually need to know them right now. So there's a bit of clarity around what you can and cannot control, what you need to know and what you don't need to know, because sometimes simplicity is better, and then deciding on where you want to start. So those are my tips from Writing Challenge Day 2. I'll check back in tomorrow, see how you guys are doing, and let you know how things have been going for me. Thinking about you. Hope you have an awesome Tuesday.